Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. And I believe we will be picking up with where we left off last night. So here we go. All right, stream is live. And we are needed in Limsa Laminsa. Hello, purple quest I don't have.
We should probably group up too.
Oh yes, that is very true.
I'm ready. You guys left me.
We're going to Limsa Lominsa.
And whatever it is that you are doing, Emo, let me know when you're done doing it.
I am done. I was in full screen.
Ah, the game identified that as a cutscene.
Oh, weird.
And I'm not sure what it was, but there was a purple quest right here that I picked up.
Okay.
Oh, it unlocks blue mages. That's what it is.
Oh, I picked that one up.
Oh, hell yeah.
And where's that at?
Right in front of me.
Oh, I'm in Britannia. Where is it?
Limsa Laminsa. The main Aetherite in Limsa Laminsa. I don't suspect I will ever use Blue Mage, but it does exist. So. Blue Mage is kind of a weird solo-specific class. You can't do random duties while you are a Blue Mage. Or at least not
That's weird.
partied random duties. I guess if there's solo stuff, you can do that.
That's strange.
Red Mage, however, you can do whatever you want, KJ.
That's right.
And Emo, I just find it funny when your staff is on your back. It looks like you have kind of a rifle on your back.
Oh yeah, it does. One of the things it does that I think is funny too is when I take it out, it opens, like the top opens up.
Mm-hmm.
And it did it in the cutscene too.
Yeah, my shield and sword do something similar.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the whole Ironworks stuff. There we go. Zora found us. You are expected. Pray take this lift to the command room. Welcome, friends. I take it as Sholta has apprised you of our situation. Let us waste no time then. According to our best intelligence, the Sahagin had not crystals enough to summon their god. Alas, we did not count on the Serpent Reavers venturing as far into Thanalan to supplement their cache. For our short-sightedness, we are faced with the grim prospect of Leviathan's imminent return. Needless to say, I am not inclined to let the fishbacks have their way. Even as we speak, the Maelstrom makes ready to launch a large-scale operation to thwart the summoning, and we would welcome the Scion's support in this endeavor. But, if gods forbid our efforts should come to naught, I will need to trouble you for more than mere support, much as I did when Titan last walked these lands. Lady Minfilia, I am given to understand that you mean to accompany our soldiers to the front lines. I can only assume that you have some sound reasons for doing so. Indeed, it's not wise to be in a crafting job on the front lines, or a gathering job. I do, Admiral, but I would rather not be drawn on their nature. I will say only that there is something I would see with mine own eyes. Is that so? Well, I am not so stubborn as to deny the wish of one whose aid I require, but precautions must be taken. I shall require that you remain by my side at all times. With that settled, let us speak of the operation. Maelstrom scouts are currently reconnoitering Sahagin movements within the Sapsa spawning grounds. Upon completing their mission, they will return to the operation's staging point at the Camp Skull Valley. I want you to make your way there forthwith, that you might be apprised to the latest intelligence. Commander Falkbearda has charge of the garrison.
And they kept to it by leaving everybody else left, but she was still there.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, all of the others left but Minfilia.
Yeah. But is she really, she's got a big old dagger, almost sword on her hip. The right side.
Well, I'm just saying is the wiki identifies her as a minor, and that is the only class apparently that she has identified herself as at this point.
Minor, not
And there's also this question. It has been quite some time since we have had to go to Camp Drybone. Will we have to go there today? I've been expecting you, Scion of the Seventh Dawn. On behalf of the men and women here, I thank you for your cooperation. The safety of our citizens is paramount. With your aid, we will prevent Leviathan's return. As you may already know, Maelstrom scouts have been dispatched to reconnoiter the Sapsa spawning grounds. Though it pains me to admit it, the Maelstrom has never faced a foe the likes of this before. We must proceed with all due caution. Among other things, they have orders to determine where Leviathan might emerge, assuming it comes to that. and yet their return is long overdue. I fear that ill may have befallen them. For better or worse, we must ascertain their fate. If it is not too much to ask, I would ask you aid in the search. 5 scouts ventured into Sapsa, all told. Here, take this flask of restorative to tend to those who may be wounded. Though it pains me to even consider the notion, if they have perished, circumstances permitting, I would ask you to recover their bodies. By no means venture too deep into enemy territory, however. We can ill afford to lose you at this juncture. I'm guessing they must be underground. No? Did you by some chance eat them, lizard man?
Oh, they're right here.
Didn't see that.
very, very well hidden.
Hey, you guys are just too tall.
Help, somebody. Of all the times to forget the restorative. Yes, bring your potions. That reminds me, I probably need to get better potions. Thank you. I owe you my life. We were ambushed by the Serpent Reavers. Lightly armed as we are, we didn't stand a chance. I was able to flee this far, but the others were captured. They were taken to the Serpent's Tongue. I'm certain of it. I can make my own way back to camp, but I fear the worst for my comrades. Save them, I beg you. You mean go deeper into enemy territory? Why ever would we do that?
Oh no, hold me back.
It's what we do. Not only that, we go running into enemy territory.
Absolutely. It would appear we are too late. Are y'all doing the fate?
No, I thought one of us hit it, and so I hit 2, and then now I'm fighting. But it's okay. I'll be done here in a second. I am sorry.
I heard the sound or the music change like we had entered combat, but I couldn't find anybody who was fighting anything.
I kept running. Emo attacked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
As KJ already mentioned, we fight things. It's kind of what we do.
Oh, I need to kill that guy.
What guy?
What I'm shooting at. Shelf by. Hunting log. Sorry.
Did we get enough?
Nope, but I see another one right here.
You're laying down on the job, KJ. I've completed my main class hunting log.
Well, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't want to get too far ahead.
Ah.
After we did earlier.
These are not lizard men.
No.
Although they're called out as drowned. Are they zombies?
I was going to ask you once how far you were on your list.
Hunting log for the gladiator is complete. I'm vastly far behind on my flame legion, or immortal flames.
Yeah. As far as I know, there's only 3. And you got the hand.
No, that was the other dude.
Oh, see, I thought you had the hand, but it was someone else.
Yeah, I do not have that.
KJ, I think you need to change your party color to pink.
Or
No.
something other than light blue. I'll help him with that later.
No, now, come over here.
No.
Yeah, no.
You've returned. Thank the navigator. When I learned that you went into the Serpent's Tongue by yourself, I feared you would ultimately meet an untimely demise. But tell me, what became of the others? I like it that corpses are always displayed as flowers.
Me too.
Dear gods, these wounds were not intended to kill, but to torture and maim. Does their savagery know no bounds? Enemies or no, they go too far. I dread to think what may have become of the two who remained unaccounted for. I pray that they haven't suffered the same evil fate. At the very least, one of my men came back alive. For that, I owe you thanks. The price we paid is dear, but we have intelligence we need. Even as we speak, the Admiral finalizes the details of the operation. War horns will sound any moment now. Be ready to sally forth when they do. Thrice damned fishback bastards. I'll kill them slowly and then chase their rotten souls through all 7 hells. Peace, Commander. We're here for a purpose, and vengeance is not it. I want your mind on the task at hand, savvy? My apologies, Admiral. You may count on me to keep a clear head. Good. According to our sole surviving scout, the Sahagin and their thralls have already begun to amass at the Aetheryte in the depths of Sapsa. If we are here to act, it must be now. The men are ready. We but await your orders, Admiral. As predicted, the Sahagin have tightened security in and around the spawning grounds. A frontal assault is likely to be met with fierce resistance. And I accidentally skipped the next thing. The Maelstrom shall engage and distract the Sahagin Legion of drowned pirates at the Serpent's Tongue. Commander, you have charge over this effort. Be mindful that the lay of the land there is devilish for attacking forces. Let the foreign levy spearhead the assault, and have subsequent units fan out and cover their flanks. At the selfsame moment, a diversionary squad formed of galleons from the Crimson Fleet shall harry the enemy from offshore. And likewise, we Scions shall form smaller units in hopes of confusing the Sahagin defensive effort. The two of you are to make your way to the site of the summoning ritual. The Admiral's diversions shall serve to thin the enemy's defenses, rendering your path less perilous. A small party, I believe, should be able to win through without drawing unwarranted attention. Thancred and Ugiri, your mission is to lure as many Sahagin as possible out of the spawning grounds. Having done so, take to your heels and circle around to join the infiltration unit. When all has been set in motion, I myself shall cut a path to the Aetherite, accompanied by Lady Menphilia, as we agreed. But don't let me keep you, friends. To battle. When last did we fight side by side? Too long ago, I warned. But come, let us away. Sholta was with us for the Titan fight?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it her or Yoda who's with the other shorty?
It's the other one with the.
It's Yoda or Yada or whatever. Okay.
I tend to pronounce it Ida. I do not know if that is correct.
Right. It's probably closer than what I'm saying. Wait, where'd you go?
I haven't gone anywhere yet because I'm not sure where to go. Okay, that's where we're going.
I watched you circle around and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, you circled around and it looked like you went down, but apparently you actually went up.
Now, I was hunting for an arrow saying what direction to go. And like always, the red arrow is invisible to me until after I've already looked on the map for it. Didn't mean to join the fate. Might as well do it while we're here. I just noticed I didn't have Iron Will turned on. Best to notice that now, I guess.
Yeah.
Not sure how it got turned off. It was on like 20 minutes ago.
We're almost done. There's a guy over there.
We're supposed to talk to you, or whatever her name is back here.
No, the red arrow is this other way.
And just realized I muted my mic for a minute. You look tired, Asholta. Have you been doing something? Pray do not concern yourself. 'Twas but a glancing blow. Come, the Aether Ride is close at hand. Let us press on. I do love the lead lizard man's crab claw hat.
Damn them. They have made thralls of soldiers and civilians both.
Did I miss much?
I'd say his aim's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, her skills are good too.
Yeah, we gotta get to that island to pick up the ninja.
So that is how you fight in the Far East. Mental
class.
note: pick no quarrel with Domans. But seriously,
KJ,
if I am to keep up, I must
all you
learn
have to do to get
forsook elegance
ninja is
for
level up a
efficiency.
rogue.
Huh. When I googled it was that one and 2 other classes on that one island.
Hmm.
But that might be old stuff too. I don't know. He looks like a rogue. Yeah, he definitely looks like a rogue.
Yeah, ninja's just the level 30 upgrade for
To the
rogue.
Aetherite.
Although I have not heard good things about playing ninja.
Sometimes the cool looking stuff is not the ones that get the
Yep.
higher DPS.
of course, at the moment, at least, Ishulta is a white mage.
Yeah. Is she something else later or what?
I think they all change classes at some point throughout the game.
You'll forgive me my lateness.
Oh yeah, the what's her name? Pirate Queen.
I think I'm gonna call them both ninjas.
Yeah.
I've been something of a liability of late, I know. 'Tis high time I set about making amends.
Long have you shriveled swordwalkers tormented our kind. But no more! Your time is at an end! You shall perish with salt in your wounds and sea in your lungs. Lord of the world, hearken to our plea. Lord of the world, deliver us from our misery.
Do you feel that?
I know this sensation. It's the echo.
What? Such power! It is transcendent!
Maybe you should have done that sooner, Admiral.
Yeah.
If you could just one-shot them from across the way, you could just, shot him while he was talking.
7 hells.
Strike me down if you will. It is futile! I have mastered the gift. I am eternal!
I feel like he should actually have a name, not just Sahagin Priest.
Born of waters primordial, I offer unto you this frail flesh, that you might grant your faithful servants deliverance. I beseech you, come forth!
Die, damn you!
Foolish shorewalker! You cannot kill that which is eternal!
Heavens forfend. Damn it all!
My being ebbs away. It should by right be infinite. Am I not immortal? Curse you, emissary! You promised me everlasting.
Now the question is, did the emissary betray him,
Where did he go?
or did Leviathan just kill him?
you? Nary a single ship. Hells take that sea demon. Gather the survivors and get to shore. Leave the wrecks for the pirates. Leviathan wastes no time. The diversionary squadron is lost. For a mercy, 'twould seem the Primal now makes for open sea. But why does he not press his advantage? God save us. He means to unleash a tidal wave.
Understand, I speak of no normal wall of water. That which Leviathan makes ready to conjure carries more destructive power than aught seen in nature. Enough to raze entire coastal settlements. If his last attempt is any guide, we cannot suffer history to be repeated. Yet how in the seven hells are we to prevent it? Though our plight cries out for action, we must take thought. So long as Leviathan remains in open seas, he is effectively beyond our reach. Our fleet is second to none, of that we may be sure, but Lemalin herself would be struggle to best the Lord of the World in his element. In a straight fight, he would make meat and matchwood of us. We need another plan. That much is plain. Let us return to Limsa and see if we cannot think of one. I shall await you in the command room. Everybody ready to head to Limsa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, entirely unrelated, but this guy's name is obviously just somebody mashing their hand on a keyboard.
Ah, I went the wrong way.
You are expected in the command room. Pray do not keep the Admiral waiting.
There used to be a hamlet beyond South Tidegate in western Lanosha. Halfstone 'twas called. Some years prior to the Maelstrom's founding, Leviathan rose from the briny depths and set about unleashing watery hell upon us. On that occasion, the company of heroes put him down before he could do too much damage. But when the bastard came next, this time in the wake of the calamity, we were not so fortunate. Weary of ravaging our shoreline, he summoned a tidal wave which fair leveled Halfstone and washed the soil away for good measure.
The area was subsequently occupied by the Sahagin.
Aye, the thrice-damned creatures transformed it into a spawning ground for their brood. Given the quantity of crystal stolen to feed him and his legion of thralls, we can be fairly sure that Leviathan is stronger now than in his previous incarnations. If that sea demon is left to wreak havoc, what befell Hearthstone may well befall a larger settlement, even Limsa. That cannot happen. The Primal must be stopped.
That was ever our objective, Admiral. But how are we to achieve it? The sea is Leviathan's uncontested domain. The ships of the 3rd Squadron could not close to within 100 yards of the Primal, nor could their cannons pierce his defenses.
I have read the reports, Master Thancred. Our warships may as well have been bloody pleasure barges for all the good they did. 7 hells! Is there no way that we might strike back?
The
Admiral, if I may.
Speak freely, Marshal.
By all accounts, Leviathan's most formidable weapon is the very sea itself. Waves and whirlpools, tides and currents, all these things are his to command. The key to victory, I believe, lies in disarming our foe. This, in effect, is what the company of heroes achieved with their ruse. We cannot lure Leviathan from the sea a second time. But what if we could weaken his hold upon the element of water? I have heard of devices capable of such wonders. They draw upon the power of corrupted crystals, I am told. If mounted upon a ship, such a device might be used to prevent Leviathan from bringing the full force of the sea to bear against us, rendering him no more dangerous than any other sea serpent.
Of course! Sid built a similar device to grant the Enterprise safe passage through Garuda's Tempest, did he not?
Begging your pardon, my lady, but to give credit where it's due, this is something I heard from an old arcanist friend of mine.
It makes little difference who thought of it first, so long as it works. Beg the specifications of this device from your friend, and I shall pass them on to our people at Naldic and Vermelis. But before we proceed any further, I would voice one concern. Piercing Garuda's defenses is one thing. Suppressing Leviathan's attacks, quite another. In matters of science, I am as a babbling babe, but I cannot well imagine that such a feat would be possible without a veritable mountain of corrupted crystals. The question being, do we have a ship big enough to bear such a burden?
Mayhap not, Admiral, but 2 might. Recall you the tale of Mistbeard's greatest haul? It is said that he lashed 2 ships together, side by side, the better to bear his plunder. By your leave, we might attempt to repeat the trick. The gods know it would be quicker than building a new vessel.
Mistbeard did this. Truly, Marshal, upon the subject of the Pirate King, you are as a scholar.
Now, from what I have gleaned of these matters, the device will need to be in close and constant proximity to the target. To wit, we must lash our twin vessel to Leviathan. This in itself will be no small feat. Ramming speed will be required, but given the weight of the cargo, that will only be attainable with the aid of a towing vessel. Suffice it to say, the task of piloting said vessel will entail considerable danger, and I would not ask it of another. I volunteer myself.
'Twill be dangerous for all involved, but we have no better recourse. Very well. Commodore, Assemble the remnants of the fleet at Morabee Bay. Give priority to our soundest vessels. The repairs can wait. Storm Marshal Slafirson, command of the operation is yours. I want that twin vessel ready to sail post-haste.
At once, Admiral.
And then there is the small matter of slaying the beast. The fate of Limsa Lominsa rests upon your shoulders once again. Go well, Warrior of Light.
Beings held as gods also exist in what you call the Far East. Legends tell us that they walked among us in days of yore, but I confess that I never truly believed them. That I should live to behold one is humbling and horrifying in equal measure. Now that I've come to face with the Primal, I do begin to understand why the Garleans fear them so. What is it? A message, Admiral. I judged it best to be delivered at once. I am listening. According to the Yellow Jackets, a man has appeared who claims to have defeated Leviathan. One of the company of heroes? The details are hazy, Admiral. We have dispatched one of our own to question the individual. I'm disinclined to put any store by the claim. And even should it be true, it is as the Schulta said, none save the company of heroes have bested Leviathan, and we know how they went about it. If this man is of their number, what could he tell us that we do not know already? And yet, having wagered Limsa's survival on 2 ships, some rope, and a pile of crystals, can we afford to ignore this man? If his testimony could yield us any manner of advantage, should we not hear it? Damn it all. The twin vessel will soon be ready. We have no time to wait for the Maelstrom's report on the supposed Primal Slayer's claims. Seek him out and learn what he knows. At the very least, it will spare you the torment of waiting for the reckoning to idleness. The man you are looking for is believed to be a resident of the Grey Fleet in Lower Lenoskia. The Storm private sent to question him should already be in the vicinity. May your journey prove fruitful.
Marshall's voice sounded familiar too.
Indeed. It would seem that he is the voice, or the current voice of, let's see. He's the voice of Kalitra Deathweaver. If you know who that is. That's one of the primary Death Knight NPCs. He's usually paired up with the Thessarian.
Oh, okay. Got it.
The two of them are standing on the outside of Orbos right now, if you haven't seen them out there.
Okay. All right.
Kind of, they should absolutely hate each other, and they often act like they do, but they're almost always together. So... And of course, if you've ever wondered where he's been for the last several X-Packs, he and Thessarian answer that question if you find them outside Orbos.
I'll have to go seek them out. I always like it when they do have things like that, like when you could go and talk to Shaw and what's his name? What's the other guy's name on the boat? And they talked back and forth.
Yeah. I just noticed there are a couple of purple quests over here, so I was running over here to grab them.
Oh, I went the wrong way.
Well, it actually seems like we're running a direction that's pointless, so... incoming teleport.
Okay.
Because I thought they said that we were supposed to be going somewhere here in Limsa, but no, we're not. Yeah, she said Lower Lenoskia, and I heard Lower Limsa. So.
Oh, gotcha.
And I would have teleported to Lower Lenoskia, but it seems like the spot that we're supposed to go here, it's much closer to here than it is to the teleport down here. So. I figured it was going to be this guy. Isn't this the guy who pretended to be a member of the Company of Heroes last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew we should have killed him. Now look here, you. You'll have your bloody story right after you carry those sacks of grain over to the mill. But sir, that's what you said before you had me pick those oranges for you, and before I mucked out the chocobo stables, and before I rolled that millstone over to the mill, and before... Gods, man. I've worked 3 days straight without a wink of sleep. 3 days. And do you hear me complaining? Bah. I suppose some of us just ain't made for the rougher stuff. All right, I'll give you what you want. Never let it be said that old Tractrum ain't a generous soul. Now, prick up your ears, cause I won't be repeating myself. Too modest, see. Besides, there's only so much epicness a man can take in one sitting. Keen? The tale of Tractrum's epic victory over the dread primal Leviabetus. Now, Leviabetus is huge, make no mistake. To give you any idea how big, each of his scales is as wide across as... And that's no mean feat, let me tell you. When I fought him, I could barely see for all the brine he was pelting me with. Must have been a lagoon's worth at least. He even knocked me trusty axe out of my hands at one stage. Of course, that proved to be a grave mistake. What happened next? Why, I grabbed him by the tail and tied him up in knots. But not wanting to take all the glory for myself, I let my mates in the company of heroes handle the rest. Like I said, I'm modest as well as heroic. Maybe too modest. Now, there's some as to say you can never truly beat Leviabetus, that you've got to learn to live with him and make the best of a bad situation. Not the company, though. Ah, it's you! I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I was just enjoying the attention is all. I take back everything I said. I was never part of the company of heroes. I'm no marauder. I'm actually a complete coward. I'm nothing. I'm chocobo dung. Now I'm the maggots you find wriggling in chocobo dung. I have to lie to the women's to tumble them, and that don't happen much.
What, Cat?
I read ahead and couldn't wait.
Yeah, I've moved on. I actually skipped the first reference and nobody noticed. I sure as hell didn't fight Leviabetus, but I have seen him with my own eyes. It was a fair few years back when I was working at a baker's hand. I was shirking my duties one day, loitering about the harbor when I saw it. A great and big massive sea serpent, some malms off the coast, with a fleet of galleons making straight for him, cannons firing. I was so bloody scared I soiled myself right there and then. What? Oh gods, just remembering that day made me soil myself all over again. Hey, wait, if you're asking about Leviabetus, it means you're planning to fight him, ain't you? Well, take care. He really is terrible. Dreadful, I tell you. If you're not careful, you'll end up in his gullet at the bottom of the sea. Why, you worthless, lying horset. I can't believe you made me handle chocobo dung. This is Minfilia. Were you able to learn aught of use against Leviathan? I beg your pardon? Leviabetus? I see. This is unfortunate. At any rate, I have tidings for you. The twin vessel is now complete. We await you at the Morabi docks, or Morabi dry docks. Pray make your way there as soon as you are able. Can we kill him now? Please?
No, I rather like him now, because that whole thing, that just made me laugh. The pause right after you realize what you said, and we're not going to say the next thing.
Yeah,
indeed.
you missed some spot.
Interesting. I am not attuned to this aetherite. Luckily, it's in this zone.
Oh, I'm not attuned either.
I guess none of us have been doing a lot of stuff out here in Lenoskia. And you can ignore that purple quest there. Let's go look for a house here in Limsa Lamensa.
We don't even quest out here. Why would we do that?
Indeed. Oh, I'm flying over the road, and you guys are just flying because you can fly. That's probably smarter, yes. I'm told your jaunt to the Grey Fleet proved fruitless. Just a second, I brought up a dialogue box over the window. There we go. My sympathies, lad. I'll wager it served to take your mind off events of recent days, though. But enough of that nonsense. The moment of truth is upon us. The twin vessel, the World Eater, I call her, is complete, and she surpasses all my expectations. In addition to her prodigious tonnage, she has been fitted with a platform that you and yours might maneuver freely in battle. I would mention also that she is nigh unsinkable, but I'm not one to tempt fate. The World Eater and her crew stand ready, my friend. Just give the word, and we shall bear you to Leviathan. Ah, I know that look. You are ready. Having been constructed in some haste, the World Eater may not be pretty, but I assure you, she is capable. She has been fitted with what our friends at Naldik and the Meles are calling an elemental converter, assuming the thing works. It will use the power of the corrupted crystals on board to rob Leviathan of his hold over water. Depending on how the battle unfolds, you may well need to activate the device manually. Keep that in mind. Well, he said it, so we're going to have to do it. It's going to be a mechanic in the fight. It is expected that the Sahagin and their thralls will attempt to come to Leviathan's defense. Accordingly, the Maelstrom will once again employ diversions. Thancred and Nishulta, I would have you assist in this effort. If it is to fulfill its purpose, your diversionary force must not want for numbers. By your leave, I would volunteer my blade. We would welcome it. Having seen you fight at Sapsa, I dare say the fishbacks will find your presence highly diverting. Thancred and Nishulta, if you would join the third levy, Lady Yugiri the fifth. But what words have I for the man who has made a sport of slaying gods? Only these. Go warily, for the sea is an unforgiving place to wage war. May the navigator guide you through the storm, warrior of light. I would echo the Admiral's sentiments, and add a few words of my own. Know that we all have the utmost faith in you. May the crystal bless and keep you. Are we ready?
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Yes.
Was this an 8-man?
I think everything is 8-man from here on out, unless it's a dungeon. But for trials, I'm not particularly concerned. It's not like somebody can run ahead and screw something up. It's just one fight.
Right.
And those people who are likely to run ahead and screw things up also know what things to click during the fight. So,
Oh, you're referring to that mechanic
yes.
or something. Yeah.
And I am no expert, but I'm pretty sure boats don't work like this. If y'all see any ads, let me know.
Okay.
Oh crap.
Ads, yeah.
Alright, the other tank has the ads. I'll hold Leviathan then. If he seems to be having trouble holding ads, let me know.
a fun fight.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
I'm still not entirely certain what the tanks were supposed to be doing, but yeah. I mean, Leviathan was targeting me during that first phase, but he didn't seem to be hitting me very much. And during the second phase, the other tank was running back and forth, taunting both halves, the tail and the face. So I wasn't getting hit at all in the last part. So. Yeah, I guess we are headed back to Limsa, right? Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, I think one of the other DPS or whatever was on the thing you had to click a second after it needed to be clicked, so. Knowing the urgency of your business, I thought it best to refrain from making conversation during your past few visits, but today I will permit myself a few words. I feel truly privileged to have had the honor of admitting a hero such as you. You are an inspiration to us all, sir. And on that note, the Admiral awaits you on the command.
We Lominsons are sworn to strive, till sea swallows all. And swallow all it would have, had Leviathan prevailed. That we still strive now, we owe in no small part to you. Not for the first time, you have delivered Limsa Lominsa from the wrath of a primal. Never has our nation known a stouter ally. On behalf of my people, I give you my humblest thanks. 'Tis meet that I give thanks to old Mistbeard, too, for his fine solution. Whatever else he may have been, 'tis clear he was a resourceful soul. Would that I had a man like him in my service.
Before I set foot in these lands, I had no inkling that the people of Eorzea contended with such mighty foes. Suffice it to say, their existence came as something of a shock, as did the idea that they could be defeated. This experience has served to remind me of the vastness of the world, and the boundless potential of man. Though I am but a refugee in this realm, I would fain be of use to you in your fight. Know that I am tutored in one of the foremost combat arts of the Far East. It may seem outlandish to the Eorzean eye, but should any of your people care to learn, I would be pleased to initiate them.
And I will see to it that they are grateful. I have no doubt that your knowledge and skills will serve us well. Besides, your art is not so outlandish as you think. Would you not agree, Master Thancred?
Naught escapes your searching eye, Admiral. Few are privy to this information, but Limsa Lominsa is home to a certain secret fraternity. Its members are trained in a form of combat not unlike your own. By my judgment, it should not be beyond such individuals to adapt to the techniques I witnessed you employing with such admirable deftness.
I am heartened to hear this. I too noted a kinship between your style and mine own, though it seemed to me that you fought differently in the beginning.
I suppose I did. What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Though you may labor to believe it, Thancred was once something of a scoundrel who fraternized with the criminal class in these parts.
Yestola! You jest, of course.
But for a chance encounter with Alphino's grandsire, he might never have left Limsa Lominsa, or received an education in Sharlayan, or taken up his post in Uldar, which is where he trained in the blade, lest you wonder.
Minfilia, please!
It would seem there is more to you than meets the eye, Master Thancred.
Lady Yugiri, I am told that you and yours came to Eorzea seeking permanent resettlement, and that many domins have since been engaged as frontier hands at Revenant's Toll. Moderna is many things, but a place of refuge it is not. Know that I would like nothing better than to furnish your people with a new home here on Lominsan soil. Alas, racked by instability as we are, our nation is in no fit state to take you in. Yet I'll not have it said that we turned a blind eye to your suffering. Until such time as we can do more, I pledge to send provisions.
We are in your debt, Admiral. I realize that it scarce qualifies as repayment. But if it please you, I shall set about sharing my martial knowledge with your people at once.
You wished a word in private.
The better not to spoil the festive mood. History repeats itself, Admiral. As the kobolds did before them, the Sahagin resorted to summoning their god over a territorial feud. They acted in self-preservation. It may be that the Sahagin initiated this particular clash, but how it begins does not interest me so much as how it ends.
I have not forgotten our conversation, Y'ashtola. I am aware that man bears part of the blame for the Primal's existence. Nor am I ignorant of the Sahagin's reason for acting. They sought to secure a place to breed and multiply that their kind might survive. Self-preservation, as you say. But we have as much right to live and thrive as they. If our own survival is threatened, are we to lay down our arms and welcome oblivion? Nay.
And so you kill, that you might live. Yet if living is a right, then that right belongs to all peoples, be they men or beastmen.
I'll not deny your reasoning, but when a storm gathers, it falls to me to see my people safely through it. That is my duty, and I shall do it.
As must we all, Admiral. Stay the course, then. But know that it will lead to no good end.
Man has ever put himself first and foremost. To justify his actions, he clads himself in the armor of righteousness, though it be a fancy of his own making. In this, mayhap the Garleans and we Domans are not so different.
Eorzea has become as a raging sea. If we are to keep our heads above the waves, we cannot scruple to drown the man next to us. When hopes of coexistence founder, strength must determine who has the greater right to live.
The Admiral has informed me of the arrangement. I have in my keeping a letter of introduction for Lady Ugiri. To the south stands a gate leading to a pier for smaller fishing vessels. Look for an inconspicuous Hyrian man there, and present the letter to him. He serves as a gatekeeper of sorts. Now, before you go, I am obliged to remind you that the members of the fraternity to which you be introduced abide in the shadows of the Mencian society. They value their independence more highly than pirates, and are united by a bond stronger than mithril. To wit, they are invariably wary of new faces. Though it be penned by the Admiral herself, mere words on parchments will get you only so far into their confidence. You must work for every ounce of trust they place in you. But here is the letter. Go to the aforementioned place and show it to the aforementioned man. Oh, and good luck. Got business with me, venturer? So you're the man the Admiral sent word of. I was hoping I might catch a glimpse of Thancred, too. Been a while since I saw his shite-eating grin. But, what with all the doe-eyed wenches about, I suspect he's got his hands full. Ah, you must be the Far Easterner that Merlwib says wants to train with us. Welcome to Limsa, lady. I am Ugiri of Doma. 'Tis an honor to make your acquaintance. I must confess, when first I learned of your organization, I had certain preconceptions as to the nature of your membership. It would seem I was mistaken. You're not the first person to say that, lass. Limsa's a city of pirates, to be sure, and pirates don't give two farts about keeping a spotless reputation. They hardly need a secret society to do their dirty work. Might be as my people and I keep to the shadows, but we've got nothing to be ashamed of. It's simply better for business that we remain unseen. And so you have developed fighting techniques suited to that purpose, I see. Know that the practitioners of my art, too, are denizens of the shadow. 'Tis in stealth that our strength lies. There is much we might learn from one another, I think. And what in the seven hells are we waiting for? If you come with us, Ugiri of Do-What's-It, you can get acquainted in more private surrounds. Ha! That didn't come out right, did it? I shall remain with these people for a time, that I might study their ways. Though I am loath to be separated from my countrymen, I take solace in the knowledge that they are in the best of hands. You have been true to us, Domans. No word would suffice to express my gratitude. Ere long, I hope to begin imparting my martial knowledge to the people of Eorza. When the time comes, it would be my honor to welcome you as a student. Much and more has occurred since I first beheld Eorzea from the galleon's deck. Suffice it to say, I did not envisage being invited to play a part in your noble struggle. But forgive me, I have kept you overlong. Doubtless you have pressing business of your own. Rest assured that I no longer require an escort in this land. When next you meet Lady Minfilia, pray relay to her my humblest thanks. Would that I could do so in person, but I must needs fulfill my promise to the Admiral. Till we meet again, warrior of light. Alright, are we ready to return to Revenant's Toll?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me. When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Elidibeth spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed. There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale, yet recent events have given me cause to wonder, could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight. With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long. Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
It is done, my lord. I... Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Arianger will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations, which had been previously attributed to good King Mughal XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelves Wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Acelia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Ul'dah this time, are come to Revenant's Toll, seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Dolmens. At present, they are in Seventh Heaven awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Acelia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Considering what will happen if you do this, word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear the suit. I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation. Begging your pardon, Antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off scraps of old Da for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one what got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man, not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner as his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I could see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me. Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took in the foreigners, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. So it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I may have a word. Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphinaud has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells. Now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady? We are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible would have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud, and quickly. If he's in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papalimo will see to it. Alphinaud is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry. Are we ready to head to Ul'dah?
Yep.
Yep.
And by the way, we have completed 2.2 and we are now in 2.3.
Cool.
Nice. I was going to say we all ran outside to teleport. We are ready.
All right. Well, he appears to be just standing here, so he can't be hurt too badly.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more... While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have been begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Raban has to say upon the matter. Now is not a good time. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alpha Node, back on your feet already? You may credit my swift recovery with the surgeons. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalan. We've sent what forces we could spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine, given the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives and pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between Uldan's Sinisterine refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not a single gil to spend, who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning soon. The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that the riots were instigated by outside forces, the Montaris would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticisms in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at the request for such information, but I have no doubt you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? You look as though you have something to say. What you ask is no simple favor. For such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual, even one with ties to the flames, may be better suited to the task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin speaking to the Blades posted there.
Where are we going?
Apparently Blackbrush Station. What brings you here, adventurer? Search for refugees? Well, then you've come to the right place. Oh, you mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people in Lost Hope have come to accept their situation, and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that. Like the merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. I didn't expect them to send you. I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return. I am increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You have the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak to Zazawaka. He will explain everything. Don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. I beg your pardon? You're of the Flames, but you're not with the Flames? I see. If Leofric bid you to speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the Flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent, you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of the words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt the merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay here and leave me alone? Who are you? What do you want? Aye, it's true. I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought, and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited, he split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the Flames found out, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but they'd started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the Flames were shouting to give no quarter, and oh gods, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished before the struggle, or vanished during the struggle. Oh, and if only we had never listened to the merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one man. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. I get the feeling we might be about to have our first forced party break in a while.
Yeah.
Although maybe not. 7 hells, they found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, is it? Ha! Sorry to disappoint you, lad, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. Oh, this is the best. You beat him like it was nothing. Fall almighty, what are we gonna do now?
We're not still fighting, are we?
No. Just that guy spawned basically right on top of me, so I killed him. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. You had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Have you seen my parents? They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with a man from Moldar. The man said they were going to change everything, make it so they could live inside the walls with everything else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Mister, are you looking for someone? You mean the man who left with my parents? I don't know where he... Wait, look, over there. I think that's him. Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? That's really something you shouldn't say out loud, buddy. You! He's getting away! Go get him, mister. You again. Why are you pursuing me? Sedition? Treason? Revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The selfsame refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. Okay, that was a good scowl that my guy just did. For the sake of argument, let's say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a quirm's arse about politics. It was business. Only business. We both know I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. That is a very large arrow. What's all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots? Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion.
We shouldn't review your recording back. We should go back on the hill.
I know,
That's
right?
what I think, yeah. Look for tracks.
Indeed. What news? Where is the merchant? Murdered? Damn it all to the seventh hell. He was not simply murdered. He was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you return. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alpha Node has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew.
The chamber or the promenade?
The Chamber of Rule.
I was like, I don't remember promenade here.
Well, there is the Royal Promenade, but that's different from the other promenade. So. We've been expecting you, sir. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room.
Alpha Node is sitting in Lolorito's chair. I find that funny.
Appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji? But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nael Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
You should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought of all that chaos was the product of one man's lesser power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. You are, of course, the Scions best suited to this task. Do take a moment to visit the Hall of Flames and make inquiries at the earliest opportunity. Begone, whelp. This is no place for children. I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So he visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I could think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course. But first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by the pillar over there. We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an aether-starved primal, even dealing with an assassin would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources, and ourselves.
I need to put this clear down here.
Mayhap the time has come for a change. This is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelswood has taken a turn for the worst. I will explain in detail once you arrive. Twelswood. Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I have received no reports from Ixalian activity, which leaves the Sylphs. Go.
Is Keth waiting for me?
Nope. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those cases of I wasn't sure if you guys were still in the first cutscene or the second cutscene. So I was standing around waiting for a little while. And I was like, oh, it looks like KJ and Zora are now facing the guy that's the second cutscene. So maybe I should do that one.
Sorry.
No problem.
I know I wasn't sure at first either. Then I clicked on him and it automatically put me in a cutscene. I'm like, oh.
Yep.
I gotta figure out what's taking my load. What's my load screens are so long now.
Yeah.
By the time I zone in, you guys are already gone.
Yep.
was relieved to see you healthy and hale. The latest news from Old Eyes was most disturbing. Clearly the only injury Alphinaud suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramoth. I'm sorry, may have? Then it is not certain. The Elder Seed Seer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of the Levin's return to the forest, the Sylphlands. However, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me antecedent, but the fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to only act in defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for the summoning ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely have not escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon, you foresaw this eventuality and did naught to prevent it? I told Papalimo. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castrum Orient stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation. Would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. But alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. It is like the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon the god. I am put in mind of Titan and the Kobolds, once again as the affairs of men which have paved the way for the Primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be a first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope, were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can... Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation that is most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seed Seer has requested your personal involvement. Pray report to Commander Hulo at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of the Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow scions will, of course, lend you whatever support you require. There likely are events that only pop up specifically when weather is certain ways. And also, I just accidentally pressed the home key, and that puts you in first person view.
Oh, wow, yeah.
To get out of it, you have to press it again.
I've scrolled in before and never could get into first person. It was
Yep.
just right behind my head, but
Yeah, I've zoomed in and just gotten myself more in the way of whatever I was trying to see. So. Alright, it is getting fairly late, so probably I'll be winding down the stream here.
okay.
Alright, guys, I believe we will call it here, and I will be back tomorrow night with more Final Fantasy V. Until then, I want to thank y'all for joining me. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time, and have a good night.